So here are 12 of the biggest mistakes that men make when they approach women, when they meet women, when they speak to women, in all social situations, especially outside of online dating, in public, in real life coffee shops, everywhere, in no chronological order. The reason why I want to outline these mistakes, so you know what the mistakes are, so you can change them. Because sometimes guys focus too much on, what do I need to do to impress women, or say, or act, or wear, or dress, and all. But they're not aware of the mistakes that they're making continuously. And if someone with experience doesn't tell them, these are the mistakes that you keep making, and that's why you're getting rejected all the time, or that's why you're not getting the connection, or that's why you don't feel yourself, or that's why you're not making a woman's day, or that's why you're not getting a relationship, or that's why you're not going on dates, or that's why every time you get a phone number, you keep getting flaked on. So the first mistake that a lot of men make is they approach women in a negative, down mood. They're not in a good mood for obvious reasons, challenges, anxiety, mental health challenges. I understand all that. So if you keep speaking to women in a bad mood, or too much of an introverted mood, or quiet, or shy, or too reserved, the likelihood is, especially when you're speaking to a woman for the first time, right? I'm not keen on the word stranger, but let's use it, right? It doesn't offend me. Strangers are very judgmental of someone they don't know who's in a bad mood. When you know someone and you love them, of course you can tolerate if they're in a low mood, bad mood, because you know that person and you can let that pass. But when you don't know someone and they're approaching you, coming up to you for the first time, you don't know them, you don't trust them to begin, you don't know anything about. If they're in a bad mood, you're not going to want to speak to them. So you have to address that. One of the quickest ways you can do it is by improving your mental health before you go and speak to women, which is exercise. Exercise is probably the best way. The second one is communicating with family, friends, or a community, or a phone call. Someone you can confide in, a mentor. So you get that connection, you have that love, you kind of reinforce that you've got value, which you have, we all have. So there's two ways there, the fitness and the socializing, which puts you in a good mood. And of course, the deeper one is, check out my video on how a man can find meaning. If you find meaning and a purpose in your life, you feel good, you feel purposeful, you feel motivated, you feel enthusiastic. So then you're speaking to women from a place of already having meaning in your life, rather than approaching women feeling that you're not good enough, you're empty, you're insecure, you're vulnerable, you're relying on women to fill up your cup. You're relying on outside forces, external forces, to make you feel the way you want to feel. That's not a good place to start from. And women generally, in my experience, from interacting, dating women, and from learning from women and listening to their complaints of men, or what they like or don't like, they don't like it when guys are needy and desperate and are relying on them to fill their needs or fix their issues or parent them. That's not a good one. They don't like that. Most people don't, right? The second mistake that a lot of guys make is they protect themselves too much emotionally. They're not willing to be vulnerable with women because they think that it's not manly, or they're afraid, and obviously it's a deep-rooted fear of not being loved and rejected. But when you go up to a woman or you speak to a woman and you protect yourself, she's going to feel that and she's going to be skeptical, and she might not even trust you. Because it's like, what does this guy want? And she's not going to enjoy talking to you. She's not going to get to see your personality. So to summarize it in a simple way, it's basically when you go up to women and you act too shy, right? You're really shy and tight, and you're careful and you're monitoring what you're saying, it makes her feel stressed. It doesn't make her feel good. It makes her feel uncomfortable. And you're feeling that. She's feeling your discomfort, right? So that's also a mistake that a lot of men make, and they keep doing it. They keep banging their head against a brick wall. The third mistake that guys make is they're too outcome dependent. Before they even speak to a woman, they've already made a silent agreement, which is, oh, if I don't get a number, I'm a loser, I'm a failure. Or she doesn't find me attractive the way I find her attractive. Oh, I'm nothing, I'm nobody, I'm a disgrace. Yeah, all my limiting beliefs are true about not being good enough. Big mistake. Too much pressure on yourself. Just because you see a girl and you're attracted to her, you still don't know her. You don't know her, don't know what her values are. You don't know if you're going to get on. You don't know how she's going to feel about you. So you've got to try and calm that voice, which is human, of course. I understand if you like someone, you want them to like you back. You want to go out. That's normal, but you've got to control that. You can't let that take over, because it's going to completely debilitate you, and it's going to make you act unattractive, and it's going to show in your demeanour. She's going to hear it in the tone of your voice, your body language, your eye contact. You're going to show that desperation, and that puts women off. So you've got to mentally and emotionally allow yourself to not care about the outcome, to not even think about it, just to try and enjoy now. Just focus on enjoying the words and forget about it. If you get the number, fantastic, right? That would be great. If you don't get it, fantastic. If she likes you, that's brilliant. If she doesn't like you, that's fantastic. If you get awkward, that's fantastic. Look, the main thing is you do the best you can to be respectful when you go over. You try and conduct yourself and just be who you are. You be yourself, be respectful. You want to make her feel comfortable. You want to be genuine. You don't want to be manipulative. You don't want to be an arsehole. But you also don't want to be weak and a pushover and too scared, because women are going to not really be into that. So there's a balance. So you want to express yourself and not take yourself too seriously. And just be honest. Just say how you feel. It's, hi, excuse me. I think you look great. I think you're nice. Nice to meet you. What's your name? How are you doing? How's your day going? What is it? You just be yourself. And I know that's easier said than done, because sometimes what comes with that is shaky legs, fast heartbeat, the stomach, the ocean in the tide, stomach turning, stuttering. That's okay if you're being real. A lot of women will actually, they won't judge you as harshly as you think they will, because you're being real. They'll get a sense of that. It's better to be anxious and shaking and stuttering and nervous when you're being real than to be fake, put on a persona, but seem on the surface that you're calm and you're just speaking, because you're being someone else. So that's another mistake that men make. They go out to women, they try and be someone else. Don't try and be me, because you're not me. You are uniquely you. Don't try and be the next guy. You got to be who God made you to be. Because if you try and be anyone else, it just isn't going to work. Or even worse, if it does work, you're going to be in a relationship where you're both playing each other. And if that's what you want, then that's your choice. So you've got to be yourself. And sometimes, yes, being yourself means being a bit stuttery and a bit awkward and nervous, but that's not where you're going to stay. If you keep being you, you're actually going to get confident, and the stuttering and the leg shaking and the fast heartbeat and the tummy turning and the awkwardness, that's eventually going to wear out as the confidence comes. Confidence comes from practicing good ethics and values. Confidence comes from truthfulness. Confidence comes from being a man, being a strong man, but being a respectful man to women. That's where confidence derives from. Values, honesty, truthfulness. If those ingredients ain't there, forget about it. Like the Italian mob guys say, forget about it. I didn't say it too good there, right? But that's for another video. So you got to practice the right way, and that's going to be uncomfortable. I've told you that many times, guys. On the other end of suffering is greatness. Failure equals success. So you've got to work through issues, stammers, stutters, leg shaking, tummy turning, fast heartbeat. You've got to do it, man. It's the truth. I haven't got time to sugarcoat it like some of these other people. I'm not knocking them. I'm just being honest. That's not me. That's not the way God made me to be. I've got to speak up. So that's really important. And the next simple thing, coming back to simple stuff, it's hard sometimes. You've got to learn to smile. You've got to get all that tension out of your face and that tightness and that anxiety and the stress that guys put on themselves, the pressure, the peer pressure to live up to the ideas of society, which most of them are no good. They're not healthy. Let go of societal expectations. Let go of trying to impress the next man, the next woman, all these ideas. Just focus on being who God made you to be. Focus on being you and focus on being patient. And all these ingredients, all the things I've said will come together. Now, on the social aspect, some of the quick things that you can change, a lot of the mistakes guys make is speaking too low like that. And that can upset women, that can be irritating, because she's like, what, I can't hear you. Speak louder, don't have to shout, speak clearer, and it's not being aggressive, it's being confident, enthusiastic, and just speaking clearer so a woman can hear you. So that's important. Another mistake a lot of guys make is not having the guts to actually ask the questions that you want to ask because you're afraid that they're going to be boring. No, ask the questions you want to ask. Ask a girl, what does she like doing? Where does she grow up? What does she enjoy? How was her day going? Now these are just basic questions, but they do take some courage muscles. So a lot of guys, when they talk to women, they're not exercising their courage muscles. They're working more from their head, which is going to mess you up. You've got to work from your heart. You've got to get from up here, to down here. And that's when you know you're yourself. That's when you know you're authentic. And there's always going to be some healthy fear that comes with that. And that's a good thing. Because when you're being real and you're being genuine, it feels fantastic, but at times it feels equally terrifying. That is not a bad thing. That is a good thing. Versus when you're up in your head, yeah, the mental fear, and you're trying to whack on a persona, you're trying to close up, and you're not going to have a connection. So you've got to be vulnerable, obviously in a healthy way. I'm not saying go up and start breaking down, crying in front of a woman, and that. Another big mistake that guys make is when they approach women is falling into selfishness, which is, you know, what can I get? No, I want her to like me. I want her number. Instead of actually focusing on okay, I'm human, I've got needs, but let me be an even a better person. Let me try and focus on what she wants. Because sometimes when you approach a woman, where she's at in her life, she doesn't want to go on a date with you. She doesn't want to give you a number, but she just wants to have a chat with you. And I know some guys, they're going to get upset, they're not going to want that. When you mature more as a man, when you can go, do you know what, let me put my own selfishness aside, let me not be desperate, and let me make her day, man, you go to another level. One of my students I was working with, this guy's growing at such a rapid pace. He had a conversation with a woman, it went really well, and he came back and he said, you know, Johnny, I didn't feel right about asking for a phone number. It just didn't feel right. I felt good about just having a conversation. You know, I saw it. She liked him. That, you know, but he could feel that she didn't want to give her number out, and he didn't feel right about it. They didn't fancy each other in that way, but they had there was humanity. They could have a chat and they made each other feel great. And I said, you know what, that is fantastic, your attitude. I didn't have to explain that to you. That maturity, what a lot of guys are lacking. And when you have that mentality later on, you're going to get a number, a girl's going to like it, it's going to be with the right person. So some guys feel that they've got to get phone numbers off every woman they speak to. When you actually stop for a second and you really think about that, that's desperate. Because really, I mean, how many phone numbers do you need? How much? That's exhausting. There's something not congruent about that, right? And I had to go through that phase as well. Because that's like, you need everybody to like you. And obviously not every woman's going to be right for you, and vice versa. So there's nothing wrong with having a conversation that doesn't have to go anywhere. It doesn't always have to go to a date or a phone number or a woman giving you all this validation. Sometimes I've been in situations where I'm going through stress in my life, and I might speak to a woman that I'm attracted to, and she doesn't feel attracted to me in that way. She doesn't want to go out with me. But she's having a bad day, and I can feel intuitively a couple of encouraging words on my part could make her day, make her feel good. And she would actually, you can feel with some women that they're like, oh, he's going to want my number. I don't want to have to say. And when a guy gets it and says, look, I'm not going to ask for your number, that's fine. But, you know, have a great day, a nice conversation. Listen, have a wonderful day. It's just a different level. Women look at you different, like, wow, he gets it. Wow, most guys just want to get my number. They don't understand. He reads this. That's a man with class. And these habits, these behaviors lead you to greatness. So I'm not saying you just go out for guys that don't understand my message and you don't ask a woman for a phone number. That's stupidity. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying there is a balance between desperation and needing a phone number of every woman you speak to, and not reading signs when a woman's not interested in you in the romantic way, or when she just wants to have a conversation, or when she's not in the mood. Also reading the signs when a woman is interested in you and she's waiting for you to get your stuff together, to be a man and ask her out. She's waiting there going, I like him, is he going to ask me out? So it's having the intelligence to know the difference, and that comes with time and wisdom. Sometimes that comes with getting a mentor and investing your hard-earned money in Johnny Berber. Best investment you'll ever make, better than Bitcoin, all those coins. Berber coin, invest in me. Yeah. You're going to see your life change. I'm serious. I just laugh at my own jokes sometimes because life gets difficult. Anyway, another video. But no, seriously, this is pure wisdom I'm telling you. I couldn't tell you guys this information. There's no way the old Johnny Berber could have told you this because I didn't have the grey hairs. So I got when you've got grey hairs coming out of your beard and your hair, right? And when you're missing a bit of hair, you know that you found wisdom in your life. And experience speaks, right? and grey hairs show that. Okay, so what else is there? I've given you so much value today, right? And it's a pleasure to do it, right? Anything else? Well, that's a hell of a lot, right? Okay, we'll stop it now because that's about as much as I could think. Now listen, if you want to go one step further and you need help, come on the Weekend Confidence Program. It's June the 25th and the 26th. I'm taking 4 students out. I'm going to teach you how to overcome fear and anxiety, how to speak to women with confidence, how to meet women, and how to get a relationship, all right? So if you're interested in that, I'm sure you'll find my address. My email address is below. Send me an email. Any questions you've got about the program, time, price, length, what happens, what we do, where we meet, I'll answer all your questions in the email. If need be, we can have a phone call, a Zoom call. That's fine by me, all right? I'll see you guys in the next video. Appreciate all your support. And remember, when you become fearless, your life becomes limitless.